I don't usually watch movies. I guess the reason is just they don't really do anything for me. There are very few movies I've watched that I've actually liked. The vast majority of the movies, if I do watch them, like that's how I feel. Just that sigh, just like well, that was a fucking waste of however much time the movie was. Um, but I was kind of like, you know how YouTube has recommended. I've been getting a lot of a lot of recommended videos from Asian Crush. Now, I guess it is a site that has a lot of like movies and foreign drama and a little bit of anime. It's kind of like Crunchyroll, but like with Crunchyroll, you have a lot more anime, but not much drama. Like they do have some, but I think on this one they have more drama, but not as much anime. I don't know. Like I literally just found this a few days ago. I didn't sign up or anything. I'm just using the free one, which means I have commercials that I have to deal with, which is fine. Like I was using Crunchyroll before I signed up for premium, and they would just bombard your ass with this constant commercials. So like I got used to it. The most I've seen so far at a time on this one is like 4 30-second commercials in a row. So just beware of that. Sit down. She needs her cough medicine in a couple of hours. So now you can tell it's starting to wear off a bit. Then she also just won't sit down. Anyway, so I decided to watch 3 movies which are related to each other on Asian Crush. I'll just put a link in the description when I upload this, which will probably be in a couple weeks or two. Called Battle of the Demons. And there are 3 of them. I watched 3 of the movies. Basically, all of them kind of have to do with each other. The first one, like you watch it 1, 2, and 3. So watch it in that order. But well, you can kind of get away without watching the first or second if you watch this. Now you can watch the first and the third one mostly have to do with each other the most. Yeah, I can phrase that correctly. The second one you can kind of watch independently without having to really watch any of the others. Because, I mean, there's a little bit from the first in the second. But for the most part, the second one's a flashback. So the first one, actually I should probably get it in the premise of all 3 of these movies that have to do with the same thing, is basically demons exist. They, for whatever reason, cannot give birth to females. So they have to attack pregnant women and inject their blood, changing the genes. They attack pregnant women they attack women who are pregnant with girls, and yeah, they have to inject kind of blood into them or something, and that changes their genes, giving birth to a girl who can give birth to demons, essentially. That is the main plot. And they kind of leave them with their parents for a while, and then on a certain birthday, they go and get these girls, they kidnap them, and they take them to be the, like demon brides, which is essentially just breeding. And I think the most healthy couple is probably the second movie. The least healthy couple, ironically enough, is the first movie. So the first movie we have Kaki and Kana. And I think of them all, the first is the worst because they're so... Like, they do tell you that these girls, they attract men, and not in a good way, if you know what I'm saying. So the first one has a lot of almost rape scenes. There's molestation. It's very... You don't actually see them do anything to her, but like, obviously they show the emotions like a guy, like a buckling his buckle, like a bunch of boys harassing her. Her teacher kind of like feeling up her arm. So it's, in the first one, it's a lot more heavy, that kind of thing. They like throw it at you, and so usually they have a guardian protect these girls until it's time, and then because they're precious because they can give birth to demons, otherwise they'd be extinct. So they have someone watching them because they know they can't be left on their own. There's no way they're going to survive on their own. Like, literally, they will not die. Or literally, they will die. They cannot survive on their own because they'll constantly be attacked, like you see Kana get attacked constantly over the years. And they either they don't make it or they commit suicide. So there's never really been a case of them surviving. Somehow she's managed to survive 16 years without anyone protecting her, which is extremely abnormal. And you find out why. And Kaki doesn't want her. He's kind of like the leader of the demons. He doesn't want to be, so he doesn't want anything to do with her. He doesn't want to be the leader. And he's very abusive to her. And he actually tries to kill her. Spoiler. Quite a few times. And so that's basically the first one. It's Kaki and Kana, and then like the 3 guardian wings that are supposed to take care of her kind of get into the scuffle of it's a fucking reverse harem essentially. And the second one is one of the guys who's the guardian wing in the first one, Reiji, and his wife. You see like a little snippet of what happened in the first film of just like them at the ceremony, the wedding ceremony for Kana, and Moegi, who is Reiji's wife, kind of like telling Kana, like, oh yeah, I also wanted to get away from this life, and kind of going into her backstory, and then we're 20 years later, the rest of the film is we have, her and her story, who is probably the cutest, to be perfectly honest, because it's the most healthy compared to the others. Where he's very nice to her, he's very caring, he's very polite. Haki didn't want anything to do with Kana, was a total dick and wanted her to like go away or die or whatever because he didn't want anything to do with her, he didn't want to be a leader. And that's one of the biggest crimes you commit is hurting her, doing anything that could hurt one of the brides. Because they are so precious, it's because they can give birth. So, well, apparently they say, like, this is very snippet, I can't remember which movie, that the brides, however, can pretty much get away with anything. Like, no one's they won't do anything to them. They can commit crime. No, they'll be protected. Like, this one girl just kind of says it. It's not really delved into detail, just enough that, like, they're so precious that you can kind of get away with anything. Whereas, even if Kaki, who's the leader on the first one, it won't be forgiven if you hurt a bride. If you kill a bride, you are chased out of the city. And you are marked for it. And you're not welcomed. Because, like, it's like a sin for them. So, yeah, the second one you have, like, Reiji and Moe, who are, I think, the most sensible relationship. Like, Kana and Kaki. Kaki's a total dick or he's not around. And Kana's just way too quiet. Like, she's not a bad character. She's that extremely quiet character that just kind of, like, survives somehow. So she doesn't really interest me. Moegi actually likes the next 2 girls. They're much more my style. In the sense that Moegi is like, you don't think this is strange that they just randomly take chicks and, like, she's not horrible to him, to Rage or anything, but she's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna marry you, dude. This is fucking weird. I'm 16 years old, so I'm not gonna marry some random person just because my parents made a promise. Like, I'll stay here for the month and I'm gone. He's just like, okay, well, I'll try and win you over this month. And it's kind of like it's the most sensical of them all. And to be perfectly honest, they did have a bit of a cute relationship. And I think my favorite was probably the third movie. Because just, like, the first one you have, like, the anti-relationship. Then you have kind of, like, somewhat normal, cute relationship. Like, you can actually see them maybe coming together. Like, you kind of root for them to come together. Whereas in the first one, you're just like, seriously, just get away from each other. Like, just I don't want you two together. Just, he's not good for you. Just get away, sweetie. Go away. But find happiness elsewhere. That one does have a bit of a happy ending, kind of. And, the second one, you're like, okay, that's kind of a cute ending. And the third one, I think, is my favorite ending. The third one is Hibiki and Momoko. And essentially, it is probably the most interesting of them all. Is Momoko was a demon bride, and at the start of the movie, her demon dumps her. So she becomes a laughing stock. And You can tell she's silently fuming. Kana's interjected later on. She kind of tries to become Kana's friend. And of course, we get the spiraling jealousy, and then we get Hibiki, who wants to be Kito, which is basically what the leader's called. So he doesn't like Kaki. So these two kind of like are like almost villains, and like, and the other two, they kind of like show you like, hey, they're gonna get together eventually. They're gonna get together, whatever. But the third, like, they never really hinted at the third one, where they're more like just kind of, oh, what's the word? Like partners, not really, kind of just using each other to get what they want. Whereas Hibiki obviously wants to be the leader, the Kito, and Momoko wants, I guess, kind of to suffer the same way she has, something along those lines. They're not the best movies, but like the third one's probably the most interesting, personally. And yeah, you only get like a little bit of reused footage from the first and the second, and then for the third, they do use more of the first film's footage. Like, you see quite a few scenes where you're like, okay, I've seen that in the first one, seen that in the first one, seen that in the first one. There's some, obviously, different stuff, but, like, they do use more footage. And, though I think the ending for the third was probably my favorite, because, like, I wouldn't recommend watching these movies. They're so I'm going to spoil it. But, basically, the third's ending is actually kind of the cutest, because, okay, spoiler, here's the ending of the third one, is Momoko decides to, because she knows Kana's hated by all the other girls, invite her to the dorm, knowing they're probably going to attack her. Because she's just had, if you're dumped, you can get a new demon. So she finally finds one she likes, and he falls for Kana after kind of like ghosting her. And so she starts to lose it, because you could tell she really liked him. And so she says she's going to get revenge on Kana. And, she takes her to the dorm, kind of sets it up, and she's like, hey, I'm going to go, notify the office so you can, stay over, do the paperwork or whatever. Because I guess you need paperwork in order for someone to stay in the girl's dorm who doesn't live there. I don't know. They just, like, briefly say it. And, hey, I'm going to do that. Why don't you go get our food? And, so all shit breaks loose, and then Hibiki calls her and is like, dude, you can't kill her. I need her to get to Kito. He's fucking, she's his weak spot. And he kind of like stops her, so she, of course, at the last minute goes back and tries to protect her, and they are in the process of trying to attack Kana. So she runs out of the building with her, and Kana manages to get away by Momoko stalling, and they decide to try and take their anchor out of Momoko, and they have a knife, and they're trying to hurt her, and he shows about to fucking nowhere. And the most satisfying thing is that you see this annoying bitch screaming on the ground covered in blood, him just with a knife. And meanwhile, like, while Kana was running, she like ran into Kaki, who's her demon partner, whatever. And they go back, and they fell back, and it's just that bitch on the ground screaming, covered in blood. And he just like, hey. So they like run over and like kind of take care of Momoko. Who's just like, what is he doing? So he stabbed this bitch for her. And then, so that all ends, and there's one scene I really liked, because you only see her a couple times, the character, and she did a pretty good job being a bitchy character, so I gotta give props to the actress for that. Because she made me want to smack her several times. But, yeah, and at the end, you kind of get this, like, cute little thing where Momoko's like, I'm leaving, here's a fucking cake. And she goes to leave. And this little cake scene is actually pretty cute. And he's like, she's like, what? And he, like, kisses her with, like, the cake in his mouth, which kind of gross. Cute and nasty at the same time. Like, it's a cute little scene, but when you actually picture what he's doing, and she's like, oh god, that's too sweet. And he's like, oh yeah, You could have just told me. No, but you should try it. And then how it ends is she's about to leave. She's like, okay, bye. I'm leaving. She turns around. He's like, wait a minute, come here. I saved your life. You owe me. And she's like, okay, well, what do you want? And he's like, let me court you. I'll tell you later. And then it just ends. And it was like this weird, despite the fact they're never really shipped until like the very end. I don't know why, but it was kind of my favorite because it was so. Like, I think theirs was not only the most interesting of the movies, but I just like the dynamic of both these just fucking lunatic characters, like, just kind of getting along. I don't know, it was weird. I didn't really have much to say about the movies, because like I said, they're kind of meh. But, there were some moments I liked. Like, oh god, the second one, they had some weird-ass creature in it that like supposedly eats demon brides, and like you can never really tell what it is. And just the second I see this one part, spoiler, the second I see this, he with a fucking kid, I'm just like, and we know what the monster looks like. It's totally a fucking kid, isn't it? It's the fucking kid. And so yeah, he just Moegi has to start running and almost gets eaten. She gets saved by Reiji, and they walk off, kind of like. He tries to hold her hand. She's like, yeah, no, dude. We're not. Nice try. He's like, oh, okay. And she holds his hand. She's like, then she holds his hand and goes, this just happening one time, dude. And like, that's the end of the second one. And the first one's ending is just, like, I guess Kagi told Kana to leave, and then he sees her at school the next day, and it shows like their feet, and they're like walking towards each other, and just like I said, the mall was kind of like the least interesting, but I don't know, it wasn't bad, but anyway, so yeah, that is Battle of the Demons. Was it Battle of the Demons, Battle of the Demons 2, and Battle of the Demons 3? Of the three, obviously, like I said, I probably had more fun watching the third one. But there's nothing to write home about. The acting is a little awkward, but I think that's just me where I'm used to like American acting. And these people, like, their voices are okay, but I mostly would picture them in anime. So when you see them doing it, they might actually be both voice actors in anime. I don't know. In live action, it's weird. I don't know. It's hard to describe. Any time I see Japanese actors, I don't know. Oh fuck! What language were they speaking? I wasn't even paying attention. Usually, I'm like, okay, that's probably Japanese because I've heard anime a million times, and I'm like, okay, I recognize a few words. It's probably Japanese. And then I've seen Korean drama, and I'm like, okay, that's probably Korean, or it shows subtitles or whatever, and I was like. Anyway, they have English subtitles, don't worry. But it's in a foreign language, in case you didn't fucking figure that out. I'm assuming everything on there is foreign language. No, they do have a few dubs and stuff, I think. A few dubbed anime, I think, while I was skipping through. But anyway, I think I'm using the Roku version, so I think it's called Asian Crush. But if you don't have a Roku, just look it up on YouTube. They have like a YouTube channel. And they have like clips from certain things. That's how I found out about these movies. Is like that's what YouTube was recommending me, was like these 10 to 15 minute snippets of clips from these movies, which are probably under 2 hours. They were more like an hour 30-ish. Yeah, an hour 40-ish. A real good talk home. Anyway, I don't know. I just thought I watched like 3 fucking movies, and which is rare for me to even watch one movie. Because, like I was saying in the beginning, I don't really watch movies. Just they feel like they're way too short or just too fucking long for me to care. Which makes no sense. Because I watch a long ass series. But, there are very few movies I actually like The New Guy and Spirited Away, House in the Castle, Ponyo. Those are the vast majority of movies I see. I'm just I don't fucking care. I don't. So this is kind of, I don't know if it's so much of a review. It's not really a review. It's kind of a spoiler. It's not really a review. 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 It's not really a rev But I don't ruin everything, so it's not a whole bunch of spoilers. No, it's quite a few spoilers. You're like, I don't know. This is a review. It's not a it's not a recommendation. It's not really a review. I don't know what the fuck this is. It's not a rant. What do you call it? I'm probably gonna put it in the review section anyway. But yeah, it's on Asian Crush. It's just, if you kind of want to have an idea of what it's like, just go to the YouTube channel Asian Crush. I think that's what it's called, and you'll see like I have a bunch of like under 20-minute. Sorry, I itched my nose. I was itching my nose, not picking it. Okay, ew. I was itching the bridge right there. I always get itchy there, and that sounds weird. That makes me think, are you doing drugs? No, I can't afford drugs, and I'm not interested. Anyway. I don't know what else to say. I've like ruined stuff. I've described things badly. Just like if for some reason that plot sounds interesting to you, maybe try. I don't know. I'm gonna try this other thing that I saw a video for. Also on Asian Crush. It's like I think Bride is in the title. I can't remember what else it was called. But I don't know. I thought I'd try some foreign movies for once.